Both teams had a slow start in the very first round, but this is where they will have no choice but to step it up because elimination is on the line here.
Playing for the retake, it's definitely the smart call. They'd love to grab a pick along the way, but that one cost them so much more. Nice. All alone. He'll use his waves to try and block off their sight lines, but they'll be through that in just a moment's time. Low HP on one, but neither will fall. Saya player with his third of the round. Saya, good for one, Lysor down. Nishao up close, got his double, but they're trading it right back. And T1 will not let go of this round.
So easy, guys, so fucking easy.
T1, they were looking down and out in that first half, but what a turnaround once they touched that attack side. Updraft and around, and well, he's being found instead. Saya player dropping and looking for more around the top of the box. Oh, and he's up in heaven as well.
Trying to find anything more should be impossible. Actually, never mind. It's a little bit disjointed. Looking possible for them as Aya's managed to find a multi-frag of 3.
Berlin's still able to hold strong, but left on super low HP. Blinded, Aya knows there's a player around the corner, but he's behind himself. Even still lands the shot, but he's got more to do. Another player to take down, and it's Ban consistently hitting 3K after 3K, and there's another for the tally.
They know he's in that corner, but it's his teammates they should be worrying about. Zeta already, Aya desperately trying to cling to life, but it is done. T1 will be the ones heading back to that decider match to face off against Foot for the second time. And unfortunately for FPX, once again, they failed to get a win at an international tournament.
We've had to say goodbye to 2 teams today, but it's time to find out which team is going to be the next one to make it to playoffs. Welcome back, everyone. It's time. PRX versus EDG. I know every single one of you at home and in this arena right now are very, very excited for this matchup. So are we. And I feel really lucky that I get to do this game with both of you. Welcome.
Give me a gang.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time the 3 of us got to do a desk together was.
It's been a while. It's definitely been a while. And also, for a game like this as well, Tom, I can't ask for anything better.
No, like this is kind of the match that I think everybody wanted to see, like the rematch, but if anything with something now, so it kind of should go maybe a little bit more in favor of PRX, but you can never doubt EDG.
Oh, but before we dive into that, I want to show you guys a little back and forth that occurred in the post-match interviews yesterday between Forsaken, Kangkang, and me, actually, funny enough. So check this out.
I would say maybe, I think we are good at any playstyle, but just, I think if you guys want to counter me, you guys have to like diff our aim, I guess, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, if you guys win our aim, I think definitely we will lose.
我不赞成，哎，其实也还好吧，相比他们刚刚，我觉得是我们有的。为什么？就是因为我的5个队友都是超人啊，我的4个队友都是超人，我们都是超人，凭什么不能赢 PRX 啊？中国有句老话，事不过3，这一次 I will show it.
In terms of aiming, I definitely would stand a chance to win against PRX. And there's a saying in Chinese that never repeat the mistakes for over twice. So this time I'll show it. I'll show to PRX that we can do it.
I mean, Forsaken believes in order to counter PRX, you just got to out-aim them. And Kangkang, they're saying that they have 5 players on their team that could all do that, Mitch. Would you agree with that?
I don't know about that. I mean, like, at the end of the day, maybe you could say it's neck and neck. It can be even at times, but you think they can out-aim them consistently every time?
It's also the worst advice ever. Like, oh yeah, to beat us, just out-aim us. Wink, wink. Like, you're not going to try that. That's the worst thing you could ever do. Like,
especially into PRX.
Yeah.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It is.
But let's talk about Forsaken a little bit more, because with something here, you've heard him talk about it, you've heard Alex talk about it. It frees him up, Tom, when it comes to the agent pool.
Yeah, no, the thing I love about Forsaken is that he basically takes the hit for the team. Like, over the last 90 days, I think he's played 7 different agents, like basically just been filling wherever the team needed. Obviously over in Tokyo, that involved playing the duelist role, but now he's gone back to basically just playing whatever they need. And that's the only reason this team works, because otherwise it would completely fall apart.
Literally, if you look at that graphic, I think it didn't even have Killjoy on it, which was the last agent that he played here on the stage. Like, he has literally been covering everything.
Yeah, and he's looked great doing it. I feel like sometimes flex players, especially when they come off duelist, there's a period where they don't look so hot, but Mitch Forsaken, everything he touches just turns into gold.
I mean, that's been the case for a long time now, though. I don't think there's ever been a moment where we looked at Forsaken and saw him slacking. It's just a consistent demon.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of a consistent demon, Jing from PRX is actually standing by with Mimi right now, so let's send it over to her.
PRX on the way in here for their match against EDG. And Jing, I'd like to grab you for a quick question, please. You have said in interviews that the best way to beat PRX is to out-aim you guys. People have been saying that Kong Kong is the best opper in Valorant. Is his aim good enough to beat you?
I think it definitely is, because he's their star player, but hopefully we'll do our best to shut him down today.
Well, best of luck in the matchup. Thank you, Jing.
Oh, he's too nice. He's too nice. He's not even trying to like big it up, ego or anything. Yeah, Kong Kong is good enough to beat us.
He does it in the server though. That's the thing. Like he'll be very sweet outside the game. Like, oh yeah, no, we're just gonna. And then he'll do the nastiest things you've ever seen the second he gets to the server.
I feel like that's the theme with both teams. But let's talk about EDG here a little bit, because when they played against Giants, Tom, they both push each other. I feel like to the limits, and a lot of what actually ended up happening was just a crazy amount of multi-kills.
Okay, if you weren't on the edge of your seat when watching this game, then I don't know, you had your eyes closed or something, because these were some of the most ridiculous sort of clutch plays you've ever seen. Like, nobody could face off against nobody in this game. Like, he was truly unbelievable, making it close even in matches and rounds that look done. I feel like Giants, they're going to be having nightmares about this guy for the next few months, like waking up in a cold sweat because he just didn't seem to miss. And then obviously, you know, Kong Kong.
Yeah.
He's kind of good.
He'd be good. I mean, even after the match, Kong Kong was saying that nobody, in his perspective, was the Superman of EDG yesterday.
That's interesting to hear, because I think he was definitely the name that came out of our minds. But when I was looking back at all the stats, he's like a leader in top 5 for the vast majority in the tournament so far. Nobody, that is. So it's not surprising that, like, when you look deeper in the team, sure, he can definitely be the round-to-round hero. But Can just had some incredible rounds that I think live in a lot of, certainly in Giants' memory.
I feel like we could just sit here forever and just watch.
Oh, yeah.
This is just his entire...
Well, nobody had four 4Ks throughout that matchup, so, you know, we could have literally been here a while.
Yeah, every single multi-kill was kind of crazy. But the thing is, we got to mention it. It is a rematch. Kong Kong was talking about revenge, obviously. They lost to PRX at Tokyo, and that was with CGRS, Tom. They lost.
Why are you saying that like it's a bad thing? The goat gecko, you're saying?
Without something.
Yeah, something's pretty good, but you know, he can't play gecko, can he?
I mean, is that a challenge? I reckon he probably
yes, actually, he can play Breach, so maybe he will
I wouldn't
make
say
it
that
work.
with certainty.
The point I was getting at is that it's going to be harder this time around. If they thought the last time was going to be
I think it's going to be easier this time around. Well, yeah, maybe we'll send Tom for a little interview with something afterwards, and he can talk to him about that.
Yeah,
I
say it to his face, Tom.
Definitely, it's going to be a tougher game. I think, you know, not just a rematch from Tokyo, but also from Champions before as well. Like, these are teams that know each other decently well, but now, looking at the squad of PRX, you have to imagine they've stepped it up to a new gear with something arriving.
But EDG, they keep getting better as well. So let's hear from their IGR Haodong, who's with Mimi.
Haodong, a quick question for you. You got beaten at Tokyo by PRX. What did you as an IGL learn from that matchup that you'll bring to your game today?
首先，因为其实你们在 PRX 在东京相遇的时候，你们是被他们打败了。那作为队伍的一个指挥会，你将会从那场比赛当中学到什么，以及将如何运用到今天这场比赛当中呢？
学到了，主要是在我们优势的时候稳住大家心态吧。因为上一次打之后，我们在巨大优势的领先情况下被翻盘嘛，然后就学到了让大家在比赛的时候有优势的时候稳住心态。
I think it's mainly because about the mentality thing. Try to stay focused and calm when, especially when we're not in a very good situation, and also because in Tokyo we got reversed when we had a very, very big advantage. So basically learn from it and try to get more focus and more calm when we're facing this situation, if we're facing this again.
Well, thank you very much and best of luck.
This is the thing about EDG. They always learn something, whether they win or they lose. We see it on the server every time they come back to an international tournament. But I want to derail this just a little bit because PRX versus EDG is a fun matchup.
Why,
it might
Sue?
be the most fun matchup ever. So I thought we could do something fun. You like having fun, Mitch? I know you like having fun, but Tom, I'm not sure. We'll see. You let us know how fun you find this. But since we have nobody and something on the server with us, I thought we can do a little game of where is nobody or I see nobody. Make sure everybody here in the crowd and at home as well play along. I'm going to show you guys now a picture and I want you to find me nobody. Where is he? And I need like very specific, explicit directions.
I'm waiting for the crowd. Where are they going to give me a clue? Where is he? Just scream it out.
Come on, you guys. All right, we got 10 seconds. We got 10 seconds.
Bottom right.
I see nobody.
I see nobody.
Nobody is literally right
Where do you see nobody? I'm not sure I see nobody.
There is nobody.
I think I might see something.
All right, okay,
There he
let's
is,
see.
bottom right.
There he is. There he is. I can't
Mitch
believe
got it
you
very
guys
quickly.
missed it.
Mitch, he said it like 4
got it.
times.
Bottom right. you just ignored me. I thought I was wrong.
Literally just ignored Mitch.
got quiet.
Well, let's see if you guys can find something. Show me something. I don't know. Are we
you
doing another
something.
round? Was that fun enough for you, Tom?
Counter-rebel.
Yeah, we'll do another round.
Where
We'll
is
do
it? I'm
another
ready,
round.
I'm ready.
Crowd, you might want to help him out, Tom, here. Mitch is
Tom's
1-0
been
up in
struggling.
this.
There he
Show me
is.
something.
I found him.
Oh, no.
Bang in the middle of the screen. Got it, done.
Tied up now.
Is that
Easy.
Is that actually?
Easy.
No.
Smashed it.
Oh my god, that would be so funny. All right, where is he? I found him. That was easy.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Bottom
so
left, middle.
easy.
Kind of middle left.
Yeah, you got him.
Cloud looks very happy in that one.
Cloud is ecstatic. Oh my god.
Cloud is literally how I feel right now about this series.
You're over the moon.
He's literally encapsulated it. And why not find out where we're going to be going today with the map picks? Send it over
he's
to
back.
our
Let's
coaches.
go ahead and get started. PRX, you are higher seed. Team A or Team B?
We go Team B.
Team B. So EDG, you will be Team A, and we will start with your first band.
Band Lotus.
Band Lotus. Your band?
Haven.
Haven. And map number 1.
Fracture.
Fracture. Side on Fracture.
Attack.
Attack. And map number 2.
Pearl.
Pearl. Side on Pearl.
Attack.
Attack. And next set of bands starting with EDG, you have Ascent, Bind, and Split.
Split.
Split. And your band, you have Ascent and Bind.
Your band Ascent.
And Ascent. So map number 3 will be Bind. EDG, side on Bind.
Attack.
Attack. Okay, gonna run through this really quick. First set of bands, we have EDG with the Lotus, PRX with Haven. Map number 1 is Fracture with PRX on Attack. Map number 2 is Pearl with EDG on Attack. Next set of bands are Split and Ascent. Decider map 3 is Bind with EDG on Attack. Good? All right, good luck to you both.
Good luck.
Edward Gaming. PRX.
Playoffs is on the line here for EDG. This is for revenge. But for PRX, they need to prove that they are good enough to be a title contender and bring that trophy home for the first time in 3 years, Tom. That's how long these players have been together without a trophy. With something here, surely this is their time. This is their moment.
Oh yeah, you have to hope so. Like last tournament, we gave them the benefit of the doubt. Expectations were fairly low because their 6th player / streamer came through and did an incredible job, but something is that X factor. They have a few of them, but he definitely takes the biscuit.
I feel like all 10 players on stage right now, every single one of them has the X factor. But let's talk about the map vetoes we just saw. Mitch, Rematch. I'm so excited. This is going to be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, as a matchup already, we knew that we were in for some spicy stuff. I guess the question was, what were we going to see Forsaken on today? Chances are we're going to start this one out with a Neon, and I'm not against that. I mean, this guy...
What about the something breach?
Oh. You know, that is something. That is something, let me tell you.
It's something a little bit different, yeah. It's definitely one of those matchups that I think will be quite fun to witness. Like, obviously, you're going to get the double duelists across the majority of that map. Yep. For PRX, the 1-2 punch can be so difficult to sort of face off against. They're one of the only teams in the world that consistently runs that across pretty much every single map. A little bit sad we didn't get the split as we sort of did last time. It's been a strong map for PRX, but I'm not really surprised to see that Fracture come through on the other side. It's been an incredible map for EDG, and it's also one where I do think, although the roles on other maps have lined up nicely, this one, there's still some questions to be asked.
Yeah, for EDG, they're on a 5-win streak right now in terms of series. Last memory of defeat was PRX. Starting this one off on Fracture and getting a win on the board could be huge for their morale, pushing forward into it. And I think a lot of that starts with just shutting down Forsaken on those early fights.
I mean, I do wonder if PRX are going to change something off Fracture, perhaps. We saw some teams already, they've leaned into the EG stuff. You know, they like to incorporate some of that in. Would you guys like to see that here for PRX?
I definitely think they could just go back to running a Jet Raise if they really wanted to, and then have Forsaken pick up the slack elsewhere. I do still think, though, having that breach in for setup is going to have that high amount of value for them. And it's also a composition that, other than the sort of defeats internationally, if you go back to regionally, has looked very good.
Well, let's take a look here as we head into Prime, into the Prime Gaming Agent Select. And yes, there has been a change. What do you guys make of this?
So it's actually just the removal of that initial duelist, so it's less of a 1-2 punch, a lot of setup for Jing. I think that's going to be quite a cool and interesting balance. Other than that, though, it's basically just that mirror matchup, other than the Raze setup for the Jet. So I think it's going to be more about those individuals, and let's be real, Forsaken, he could have picked any agent here and we would have gone, oh yeah, that's cool, he can play that. He could have gone Yoru. He's the only player where I would have been like, yeah, fine.
But looking at the form that we see Skies on, I think he's going to have a lot more ability to play that individual duel, to burst out of those smokes and cause problems for his opponents. I just think about Aya in the previous series.
Also, was that Jogomo? I feel like that was actually Jogomo with the side. But it's time to jump into this match. It's going to be so fun. Get ready for this and take it away, Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, excited to get this one started here. Two mechanical prowess teams. Honestly, the powerhouse teams as well. EDG versus PRX. And, I mean, you got heavy hitters, you got heavy aimers, man. You know it's going to be exciting. It's going to be explosive.
It's going to be incredible. I mean, especially because EDG, I think, have partially refined their style by playing against explosive teams like PRX and some of the other Chinese squads in scrims and in matches over in the Asian regions. So this is going to be super interesting. We get to see the rematch, but this time with the addition of a little special something.
Oh yeah, finally.
Now, having said that, something's going to play breach on this match. That's normal for them. That's what they like to do. The change being away from the double duelist setup to much more of a mirror. So Jing is going to take on Kang to begin. However, a lot more of this might end up getting decided by the supporting cast. We saw nobody carrying yesterday.
It's Forsaken taking point. Orb being taken. Slight peek. Nobody brought down close to the corner. Haodong, but he's going to get overwhelmed very quickly at that. Smokes drop down. Carve out a path onto the side, but it's a freebie for them. They'll be able to get the plant down. No questions asked.
Both of these teams are going to stay tight, get those trades, which means that the opening duels, like we saw there, Forsaken being able to pick off nobody, that matters so much. It puts you at a player advantage once all the trades are out.
Got this high-low set up already. Mutual being held the fault line. Just about missing here. Kang, decent damage done on either side here, but massive player advantage for PRX. She's going to be finding themselves hard-pressed to really get into it, and something on the stage, big time this time, isn't it?
Certainly is. PRX have got that talent to be able to go toe-to-toe with EDG. We know that. Pretty explosive pistol round there. I was talking about the supportive cast, and I really feel like while there's a lot of hype surrounding the clash between Jing and Kang, and add something in there as well when he's going to be on duelist, maybe even Smoggy once we get to some of the maps where you potentially see them play double duelist compositions. But so much of this could end up being decided by that kind of supportive cast.
Yeah, and you're seeing the supportive utility already with the fault line and the flashes exchanged. They're not shying away, they're not backing away from this fight. Plenty of bodies to be waiting still close to the corner. An absolute repeat of the first round, except this much more players actually stacking towards the side here. Kang needs some assistance, but back towards the side. Yeah, just Chichu left alive, so could have been dangerous, but no.
Completely bowled over there. I mean, that's just PaperX grouping up and being able to trade off each other with better weaponry. With Forsaken moving over to Sky, I really feel like this guy's... The best thing that Forsaken's done for his career is stop playing Jet and Reyna all the time and really broaden his horizons, become the flex player that this team needs alongside Devi. They kind of swap the role around between them, and they're both excellent.
I couldn't agree more. It's added so much more in terms of compositions that they can play.
PaperX are just going to barrel through tree here as well.
Yeah, there won't be much resistance. Or you say barrel through, it would be a slight little walk.
Yeah,
no noise made.
Definitely thought this was going to be a bit quicker. Oh, this is... Okay, so this looks like they're going to set up for a double blast back into Canteen. Something likes going into Tunnel so that he has an Aftershock and stun line up here. So this is to help Jing get deep into Canteen and put pressure on these players.
Laid in the back. Fault line to set it up, but it's a counterplay. Smoggy.
Well done.
Immediately sends out the fault line and the Aftershock, so reclaiming that space towards Canteen, but the smoke's dropped down. Nobody's still standing it. Straight down. He's got the help of his team as well. Out towards the smoke. Crossfire set up EDG. Are definitely winning this one out now.
Well,
player standing. Something. It's a 1v3 now. It's made it a bit more doable. One flash available. They know exactly where he is. You can see them just doubled up. Want to take the peek and the timing. And yeah, you're seeing it immediately. The precision on point.
That's one of the classic PaperX plays that they pull out on Fracture, so they have the Aftershock and stun line up for a double blast pack play deep into Canteen. The idea being that most of the time, teams, if they're playing the standard retake kind of setups on B, they're going to be holding towards Generator there or deep in this position where Smoggy is. But EDG are actually holding so far back. You saw Smoggy using his fault line really far away to catch all of that aggression. Really good awareness, and I think that's exactly what you're going to need to be able to beat PaperX. Now, am I really seeing Devi go for a glass cannon Vandal? No armor on Devi. He's bought the Vandal instead of going for, you know, Bulldog armor or something like that.
I think that's a bit of a taste test, honestly, of what we might be expecting with this. A lot of the gunfire exchange on either side here. And again, it's really the same approach towards drop. Almost every single round in a row essentially has been going into this direction, but it's where PaperX have found their success. Once more, vacant site. Flash sent in deep here. A lot of damage being exchanged on either side, but finally a kill. Smoggy, who will fall. Still with this hold here though. Kang close. Flash. Missing to the side here, but doubled up. They're going to bring down the players who are just trying to hold on to walls. On the flank as well. Chichu falling down. Howdong forced to save, really. $300. Can't do much more with it with the rifle. Does he still want to make a go of it? I mean, players are weak.
He's going to prod, but he's going to get pushed. I mean, Forsaken's round the corner with a flash from something. Yeah. Both of them being used. No way!
What?
What is that from Howdong?
3 straight down.
How have they all lined up?
Major error in terms of spacing, but is there enough time now? It's brutally ticking down. He's got to get onto it. I think he's missed it. He's missed the timing.
But he has taken all 4 players down as well.
There's a silver lining into that round itself.
What on earth was that?
Don't count these players out.
That is very reminiscent of one of the moments that we saw when EDG were playing against Giants. Just how exactly did they... I mean...
Yeah, I mean...
Every player just catching a bullet lined up there. Nobody going for the wide swing. Nobody really pausing to try and tuck in and trade.
Right here.
It hasn't done that much damage even to the economy though, especially because EDG themselves are going to get knocked down. So there's another chance for PaperX to build their bank back up. At some point here, EDG need to be able to counter what's happening. PaperX are grouping 4 players up. They're playing a lot of 4-1, which is a little unusual on Fracture. Although you do see teams go for it. And they're just looking for a tiny bit of information to give the cue on when they want to pop.
No util being used. Again, I mean, it's just a repeat of the prior rounds.
It's very contact.
Walking all the way through.
I've got your trail.
The Seeker's going to be used to let them Deeper into the site once more, it does clear. Notre Dame lost control of A halls. Stickers have to be broken. The post-plant positioning isn't ideal yet. Gonna have to see PRX really make an active effort to clear, and that's what the Trailblazer is now, following up through onto it. It's a backstab though. Occurring, Devi's gonna be right behind them when this attempt comes through, but it's happening fast. EDG wasting time of it. Dash forwards by Kang, lovely shot. It's that one almost instantly. Time being weighted by Devi's, leaving it wide open. He's moving himself onto the site here, and he's taking a fight to them with the orbital strike to buy a bit of extra time. Halls, a little bit of map ever so slightly, but smoked off onto the angles. They don't know. They are really quite weak. Getting ran down by the weapons, and still Mindfreak and Devi. Half on it. Not quite. Nobody trying to make the most of that. Amidst of all the chaos, still 4-1. PRX getting a resounding lead.
There is some danger in a couple of these rounds, but nevertheless, PRX persevere, and they prevail. That's a moment there where Chishu just reckons that Halls is open. He's diving for a weapon. Just leaves himself completely open to Mindfreak. EDG are going to take a tactical timeout here, and this one must result in some kind of answer. It's not like we're super deep into Fracture yet. There's a lot of time for them to be able to turn the ship around, but it is firmly heading in the wrong direction for Edward Gaming currently. They can't figure out how to stop this, and it's a really interesting style from PRX. They're grouping up, usually with that 4 that I was talking about, contacting into areas and waiting to pop. Usually you'll see teams exchange utility at the beginning of rounds, trying to push people away from angles, make sure that they can get into position and earn that exec space that they need to then burst into the site. And PRX are just wandering up. If they run into any kind of issues, they're so happy just being able to trade out effectively or win the duel.
Take a page out of Giants' book, honestly, with the amount of preparation they were doing in that prior game. Think about the Giants when they were getting it going, keeping an eye on the economy, right? Knowing when the ops could be purchased by Kang, because you know Edward Gaming are going to be playing. I think they buy it like 40% of the time, if not more.
Well, it's a good point, because Kang has it right now, and this is one of the first rounds where he even could have got it on board.
Yeah.
So does this introduce a difference in pace from PRX? Are they going to send this one thick and fast, using tons of utility to take the space? They're over by Halls. We'll have a look.
There it is, Satchel. The stun, showstopper on top of it. Nobody's just going to scurry out of it, close to the corner. Rockets let loose. Reinforcements have arrived. Plenty of players here ready to receive, but with the Rolling Thunder, they're not set up for anything. They can't hold their grounds, can't fire. The shots off the stuns are very good. Kang let's loose the Blade Storm. He's taking a boatload of damage. Have to respect it, back away.
It's the same game plan, Brent. It really is. It's rinse and repeat, just taking what Giants did against EDG and using it again. As soon as Kang can have an operator, they used an ult to take Halls instead of contact.
What is that? And EDG really punishing the poor spacing. Bring it to the 1v1 though. Howdong, he's low. Devi, the reposition is good, but still information granted to him. Got to get a move on, and Devi. Red Bull clutch for him. He knew he had the advantage there, could just hold his ground.
It's another one of these rounds where it's close, but it's no cigar. It's not a round victory at the end of the day. It's another Red Bull clutch. Nice play though. I love the opener. Great usage of space from PRX. The danger comes here with Chishu being able to get a spray down and Howdong flinging himself around the corner too. A little reminiscent of some of the times where we've seen, like you said, the spacing be an issue. But other than those big moments from individuals, it's all been PRX. And EDG's economy's broken again.
And you're going to see them again resorting to the same plays.
They just contact dish every time Kang doesn't have an op. They can go for some kind of stun or flash play, but they're too late.
Yeah, close to the corner this time, not going to get caught out. Howdong's been playing there multiple rounds in a row. It's Kang who pays the price of it. Nobody inside the smoke, but
Spike planted.
Going to be able to deny the plan, not going to be able to do too much of all. Free clearance into drop while all this is happening as well, but yeah, flash to set it up still. Shots landing for Howdong, doing some damage, dropping down. It's a bit messy, a bit scrappy, yet it's all cleaned up here. PRX are making this just look clean, clinical, whatever you want to call it.
They're wiping the floor with EDG. This next one a really important rifle round again. Maybe some opportunity for EDG to get back in the game.
But this feels a little like the last time these two teams faced on Fracture, except the opposite way around. EDG at that point were storming ahead on their defensive side and then let a massive lead 11-4 slip away through their fingers. I think you'd rather be in that spot, at least where your fate's in your own hands.
Here's a Kang operator launching towards B main. Set up on the line, but immediately moving away. He's got to be fluid with it with the reposition, but it is harder to op. If you think about the defense side of Fracture, 4 avenues.
It's just dish again, Brett.
Yeah.
It's just dish again.
Listen,
this is a massive hole in EDG's defense.
And they're just able to contact up every single time. We've seen the weaknesses, stun connecting fault line as well, doubly sure of it!
What a shot!
But still Chichu will hold on, flash is good. All being supported inside the smoke, bringing them down, PRX. Just the heroics as well of the anchoring player. Chichu has done so much for them. Rolling Thunder onto the side. It was a tap to bait that out. Forsaken dodges it. Off to the side, flash. Not there, Devi, util out. Does he still want to take this fight? Well, EDG definitely do. Winning that one out, but fantastic by Chichu.
A little fortunate too, though, perhaps, I would say. I mean, it's nice putting your Killjoy in the site, but he has to hit that shot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he goes down. The rest of PRX are able to enter the site, and things are getting real sticky again for Edward Gaming. That's a moment of heroics there, anchoring. Hitting the exact stunned headshot just when it was required.
And just when you're seeing the defensive adjustments, finally, Kang with the operator, looking over to where they've been contacting all the time. PRX want to go in a completely different direction.
Brutal.
To be. And that's it's what the point I was trying to make earlier. You know, Fracture, there's 4 avenues on the defense side you have to keep an eye on to. It does limit the amount that you can really watch with an operator. Contact plays, if you spot out where the off is playing, plenty of other directions you can go into, but look at this, yeah.
Spectacular shot again. I'm almost not surprised when I see him hitting things like that now.
Almost down, yeah, almost. Should be taking that breath away. Roller's getting used to it. PRX making a go of it into the spawn. Kang's ready though. Here with the rest of the team once more. Holding them off towards that spawn area. They haven't actually got the plant down. They don't have B-main control, forcing them out wide with the aftershock. Trying to swing to help out. There's nobody there. Flash, good connection. Jinx staying alive though.
Planted.
Now finally the plant is down. They need to win out one of these fights. Nobody. Winning that towards B-main is massive. PRX is going to start to feel the squeeze and more so something. It's going to have to go huge. Close to the corner, lockdown finally earned. Almost lined up for it, but 9 health. Last player left facing him. Those are the fuse here, so EDG, adjustments being made.
And key duels being won by nobody. I'm not a fan though of PRX pushing into the spawn there. The lockdown came through, they had the site for free. Sure, they're in a 4v5, but they have areas of the map that they still control. Arcade, for example. I'd much rather see them try and fight towards tree in the post plant than try and stuff things into spawn here. It's just such awkward angles for them to fight. Into an off, which granted they didn't 100% know that Kang had repositioned there. And strangely enough, with PRX being ostensibly in control of this game, they drop 2 rounds, instantly call a timeout. Coach Alex is not happy about something. Possibly that overpush into spawn. Maybe they just want to alter the way that something's working. I'm taking a look at the economy here as well, and it doesn't look like Kankan's got an operator up. Well, I would imagine they'd be able to, you know, finagle the economy in some kind of way to get him one.
Might have to lower the sign.
So far, EDG have struggled with getting their defensive setups working here. PRX not giving them many cues to go off. That previous round, one of the only in which they used a big ultimate that indicated exactly where they wanted to head. And it looks like we're about to head back into round 10. We can see on our mini-map that there's a potential for a large clash over towards halls here. All 5 players from PRX. And EDG, because PRX have just been hitting A repeatedly, are stacking 4 players there.
And here's a showstopper once more. I mean, as soon as he's got the ultimate, but here we go, fault line with the orbital strike. Exchange of it, damage being done. Look at how weak PRX are, but It's a heal for Forsaken, not quite.
He was on 5 HP and he got wall banged with an op. Talk about overkill.
Doing that. I mean, look at the positioning of CanCang. He's immediately going back to the rest of his team here. Nade up towards them. PRX not slowing down this hit. They want to take it full force all the way through with the rifles. The blink of an eye, you will miss it. CanCang has to respond straight behind. Going for the repeat, but punished. There was so much going on there. It was I mean, I'm pretty sure CanCang hit that shot. Was it an updraft on top of the box? Is there a replay for that?
I think it was. I mean, there's so much that you could potentially catch in a replay.
Here it is, yeah. It was the updraft on the box.
He's left to handle B all on his own and did a great job, but the rest of the team couldn't stop what was happening in halls. They had a stun off contact that ended in a Brim ultimate. That's a really classic play to try and maintain halls control, and PRX is so fast, they got past it anyway with Jing. He just opens up space for PRX like you wouldn't believe. Fighting dish this time.
Yeah, you gotta try and put them off trying to fight this all the time, but don't have the guns for it. On the side here, that jiggle, does Mindfreak see it with the shoulder, double face. Devi does need to be bailed out.
How is CanCang aware enough to be thinking about where Devi could peek from too?
On a swarm, rebounding on something. Devi still here. Really testing the patience of CanCang. He hits that shot, still an angle open. Nobody cannot land it.
He needed one there.
One to the head would have done it.
He had it on a platter.
PRX still haven't cleared out all side, but the plant is theirs.
CanCang popped his Blade Storm. He wants this.
There's 2 rounds left. You've got to do something about it. Lovely flick. The adjustment to land that. Knows that one of the areas isn't clear, but he's brought it to the 2 versus 2. Now just needs to play him and Chichu. Updraft. Right click. Great clearance. Down to lower, but Mindfreak. Once more, safe pair of hands. Last line of defense of that.
Last round before the switch.
I mean, the story of Fracture so far to me, Bran, is that EDG tried to rescue themselves from sticky situations. And PRX are always just there at the end. The heroic moments that we've seen frequently end in Mindfreak or Devi just closing the round out anyway. And all of the heroics from EDG go to naught. PRX have had great openings and great closings to almost all of these attacking rounds.
And they are just essentially avoiding B in its entirety. They throw it in the mix every now and then, but it's perfect conditioning.
There was a flash at the start of this round. I think they know that there's a lot of players over towards Dish. They certainly will now that they hear flashes and boombots coming from that direction. So once more, CanCang just holds down B on their own, and they're trying to stack A.
Into the spawn, that's a connection onto 2 of the players. The movement from Jing. They are really just putting the hurt on them right now, EDG. They have the crossfire setups once more. Flashes dodged, Forsaken. It's alive. Lovely movement though.
Spike down A.
Smoggy cleans it up. Left to Devi as well. He was the late lurker. Just trying to take up halls, and now a little bit too much to do here for the final round of this first half.
Finally, the 4-player stack from EDG looks like it's going to work. But an 8-4 half is a disaster. Devi's going to try and make this one even worse. Twist the dagger. If he could pull off a 1v3 in this kind of situation, be unbelievably brutal.
30 seconds left.
Surely CanCang is good for it here, holding the angle, misses the shot.
Does miss it. Devi. 5 found, 9 bullets left though. So much more to do. CanCang.
An absurd shot again.
Yeah, I mean, he hits it with such consistency.
And yet, that's only resulted in 4 rounds. He's 12-9. It feels like he's playing incredibly with the op. But PRX's beginnings to these rounds, their game plan has just twisted Edward Gaming into loops.
It certainly has, yeah. Yeah, well, that's it for the first half. Let's send it down. We listened in to Devi a little bit earlier.
Obviously, we are very happy with our performance, I would say, because I think coming to these tournaments, we are quite pressured because a lot of maybe like fans or like public eyes is like expecting us to do well with our original roster because we played with a sub before, right? So yeah, I mean like definitely a great feeling starting the opening matches against Crew. I mean, we are kind of like careful with them because like we saw their past matches that they've been playing really well in the LCQ matchup, And yeah, I mean, we didn't expect to 2-0 them. I think for me personally, I think I was expecting to 1 them instead of 2-0. So yeah, I mean, definitely not expecting easy games.
Divine a 1v3, and once again, the possibility that they don't know. Davies from trying to find space down low. He's dropped out onto Melser. Davies is going to have to get half. He's going to stick it. He's going to try to stick. No, he pulls off and Divine!
Probably we kind of have to stop the duelists, I would say. I mean, like Kangkang and probably Smoggy. I think that these two are like their main players to their success, I would say. It depends a lot on Kangkang getting picks, because I think he's alone is very aggressive compared to the other players. So I think it's gonna be a fun game, because like we used to scrim them a lot in Asia. And I think everyone, I mean, both of us know each other's playstyle. But yeah, anything's possible, right, in life. So yeah, we're just gonna work even harder from now on and try our best to achieve or grab the trophy.
Well, the last time that these two teams clashed on Fracture, it was EDG that had a massive lead at the half. This time they trailed, and even then, they ended up throwing that lead away. And it was PRX that came back with a 14-12 victory with CGRS in the roster, not something. But this is a much more difficult situation. It's a much highly anticipated rematch, and yet at the moment, PRX are dominating it. EDG are going to have to come out with some great ideas and some sick individual form to be able to bully their way through, and there's going to be a huge clash at tree.
Yep, the barriers fall. EDG waited out just for a moment, but Util's still good for it. Haodong tucked to the corner there. Flash try and take back that space once more. It's a squeeze from the bottom of it. Damage being done right through the box. They don't stand a chance. The spike is theirs. Well-earned prize. Chichu. Yeah, he was a solo player there. Pistol round for PRX. It's 9-4. And you're really seeing evidence, I think, you know, what Divine was talking about in that piece at the half, of where, you know, these guys are scrim partners, they understand each other's play styles inside and out, but, you know, this is a PRX that is now back up to that full strength. They're coming with new ideas. They're not playing that Neon comp that they did before.
No, true. Very true.
They have a very clear idea of how to essentially dismantle the way that EDG are playing so far on this map.
I feel like it is. I agree. It is a masterclass being showcased now for PRX. They're demonstrating a slower style too. While their attack rounds were explosive once they got to the site, they were adding in the contacty play, which is just bamboozling Edward Gaming. And this just looks like they're going to feed themselves into the more at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be a bunch of kills. Tasty kills at that.
Who wants the ult?
Building up the ults, Jing. Not far away from it. Showstopper's going to be a big tool here, and that is, yeah, very healthy bonus round to come into here now.
EDG in their press conference after they played against Giants said that they were playing at about a 5 out of 10, which is absurd if you watch that match and you see how well they were popping off individually. I mean, 4Ks all over the place. But I feel like they struggled in that game to deal with the change of pace of their opponent. We're dealing with something that was specifically countering them. How do they want to adapt? What do they want to do that was different? And today, at least on map 1, it is more of the same. And this time, they don't have that form advantage. PRX are shooting back, arguably even harder than EDG are. Is this a flash of alarm bot contact? I thought he was going to jump up as well. Would have been a ludicrous play.
Maybe just the condition. I mean, that one flash is used and you've seen the immediate rotation of something. Retreating back over towards B. Players grouped up towards tower. EDG are finding it hard to just poke and get an idea and feel of where these players could be.
In the meantime, PRX cleared out A halls completely. And now Devi's going looking towards Dish too.
He's going to be meeting nobody.
Devi has got a fall here, and he doesn't.
Devi wins that fight with a Spectre?
Yeah, that's just so rough for EDG. If they wanted any chance of being able to get back into this game, it had to be starting with the Killjoy pick that opened up the A site.
Oh, they're losing all the fights. I mean, should be favored with the rifles. They are just running them down. Kang, no more time wasted. It's the updraft and a dash to try and clear out towards the site here. Needs his team to follow suit, though. Util is really bogging them down. 5 versus 3 plan. go off here, but the Aftershock is pushing them wide out into the position immediately, taking back Hall's control, clearing it together. Jump spot is punished. The Liang of a Smoggy, flash dodged. Still watching for it though, and he's got no backup. Not winning these fights. And it is dire straits right now, dire circumstances. Kang, what can you do? No safety, nowhere to stand.
PRX are just playing an incredible game currently. They take 2 duels there, just swinging with Spectres, Divine and Forsaken, delete the other players on EDG. And then when they need to close the round out, they're so grouped together. They allow no openings for EDG to split them off into 1v1s and somehow pull a clutch out. They just swarm through A-holes back through on the retake. EDG have been absolutely outclassed here by a PRX that's come in with great game plan, incredible form, and the confidence to be able to dismiss what this Chinese team is offering.
We haven't seen too many of the heroics that we saw prior, you know, when EDG was playing versus Giants. The amount of just 4Ks, clutches.
I also feel like that's because PRX aren't offering them those opportunities.
No, they're not.
We've seen a couple of moments that could have developed into something like that, but mostly they were spray downs where somebody got pushed by, you know, 3 or 4 people at a time and got a multi-kill. Mostly PRX have been tight together, always looking to try and trade out. And then you've got the safe hands of usually Divine and Mindfreak to close out the rounds. Both of those players, Mindfreak and Divine, they're on under 9 deaths. I mean, 6 deaths for Mindfreak, 8 deaths for Divine. They're not even in double digits of being punished.
Yeah. You think back to some of the things as well that people credit Fnatic for. You know, you've got the the brute force of Durka at the front lines as well, but right at the back, the last line of defense is going to be players like Alfier or Boaster. Even recently, you know, he's been turning up with some of these clutches, but from top to bottom, that mechanical form is able to just keep it going. And I feel like that is the case with PRX. I mean, we're looking at this team, it's even across the board.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know, if one part of the system fails, it's always going to get picked up again by the other players.
Certainly looks like that at the moment. I mean, nobody is getting crunched currently and has just got to evacuate. PRX control the entirety of the north side and they're already back to try and contest.
Yeah, through B main is cleared out. It's not going to be any util to really slow them down once the nanoswarms fade away. Up towards tower though, Mindfreak. Here alone. It was 1 for 1. Plan is theirs. Good positioning as well. Clearing and taking control towards B main once more. Splitting up a little bit, maybe because Jing does have the showstopper. Trailblazer towards Arcade. I know nobody's there. Still Kang towards tower. He's going to be taking first contact. Crosshair placement wasn't good for it initially, yet still he survives and gets the 1. Finally, the team having out. Watching from main. A lot of health left to him. Forsaken. A little bit too much to do, honestly, in this instance. Realizes it himself. Impossible to win that one, so backing away, just making sure that he keeps the gun, but might not even get to do that. The flash is good. Okay.
How's he gotten away with that?
And he survives.
Wait,
nobody going down.
Nobody goes down as well?
That's quite important. Yes, EDG, they get around on the board, but you needed to keep the guns intact because the money's not looking too good.
It's not that sharp. It's not going to punish them too badly in this round, and they kind of just need to win everything anyway, so nobody's going to get away with that mistake, as is Smoggy. But that's a big round carried mostly by Kankan, being able to get the entry that his team needed. It is such a long way back, though, if he wants to take his team to a victory here on Fracture. We've seen enormous comebacks between these two squads before, but it was the other way around.
Here we go, making usage of the showstopper at the turret. Peppering.
Same thing again, though. They crunch the south side. Yeah. Player disappears.
All the way across the ropes here, and an instant reaction from EDG. It is the same, but flipped, essentially. Plan should be able to go down here.
Better retake positions, however, from PRX.
And an aftershock as well. So then plan for but a moment, gives them a bit of time here. Seekers push forwards, not all of them broken. It's going to give some decent information here to PRX. On where the players are and standing. Kang wants to really make a go of it. And there's more than that at this point. 2 kills. Blaze Storm refreshed. Teammates feeling just empowered entirely. They have shut this one down. Beautiful.
That's a highlight round for the ages. That looks like pre-nerf Jet.
PaperX are going to take a timeout here. Kankang's had 2 back-to-back rounds, where his individual prowess has carried EDG to the finish line. One of these shots. A right click on Mind Freak as well at the end. Incredible performance there from Kankang. Opens up both of the rounds and closes that one out. He's made this a little closer, especially with PaperX's economy being slightly damaged here. They've got a serious decision on their hands of whether or not to invest into the next. I think that's what he'll be telling the rest of the team. They look like they need a bit of a confidence increase at the moment. We know that the EDG players are talented. It's not just Kankang and friends. But at the moment, we're not really seeing that from the rest of EDG. They're getting outclassed.
Respect being shown with the timeout being called though. But yeah, it is outclassing, but you gotta just, I mean, look at it 1 round at a time.
To be honest, I'm not sure how much input Coach Alex can even have about how the previous round went down. The way that Kankang was taking those fights, there's not too much opportunity to trade. He's diving around all over the place. Maybe just concerned that his team keeps crunching, keeps going for these aggressive pushes at the beginning, but to be honest, it looks like they're set up for another one. Got double initiator on one side, trying to keep EDG trapped in spawn, and then Jing flying at them through halls. Slower though this time.
Yeah, Stimmy will allow them to evade that stun. It's coming their way. Flash. So going to be avoided here. Obfuscating the fact that they have just trundled up towards B main here. Nano Swarm behind. Slowing it down now in the mid round. That's what EDG have really learned from a lot of their experience at these international events, actually. The ability to really just slow down those moments, take the space, poke and prod, force people out into the open.
Oh, I thought they were going to go for a contact play there. Would have been very impressive, but I think without them making too much noise, and with this Trailblazer, the Guardian Light clearing over towards Arcade, I don't think PaperX are going to be buying this fake towards B. I think Haodong has just used 2 smokes for nothing.
Jing gonna try and stop this! The onslaught coming his way, and he does succeed at that. 2 players falling. There's a stun to try and catch Defy. He was helping him out, but the door closing shut in their face. It's now very obvious. EDG, a bit of a breather.
Jishu just got locked down. Is there any chance he's got time to be able to use this? There's only 30 seconds left.
Has to commit it, really.
This is going to go down to the wire.
But the trouble is, the more time you're wasting, getting a bit dire. Got to get themselves in. Maybe they use Smoggy's all off the tail end of it to try and get themselves in.
Brutal.
Did you fall? Smoke's now fading. 12 seconds. That will go down here. Entertainment close to the corner here. Fight's still going to be taken, but it's just 1 player. Yeah, Smoggy. He's got so much more to do, hasn't he? An open sightline out towards main. He can't win it. It's Forsaken. And PaperX just feel, I mean, so many layers ahead right now. In terms of just the game plan. It feels like adjustments are still being made by EDG. Coming into it with good ideas of how they want to play, but
too little, too late.
Too little, too late, yeah.
And also, even when we're talking about the quality of the ideas, I'm not a big fan of the fake that Haodong ran. EDG love to throw a fake in, 1 or 2 times per map, something like that on their attack side. And this time, they didn't actually throw enough utility to make it seem real. They just popped down the 2 smokes, one at Canteen, one at Generator, and then Forsaken's in tower, listening, can't hear anything. Flash towards Arcade, didn't see anything there. Too obvious that everything was coming towards Jing in that moment. And this looks like a clash potentially to end it all as PaperX try and batter their way through.
Classic play from Jing, but actually punished.
Almost.
Loves to go for the double satchel movement.
Nobody doesn't realize how close he was to hitting the grave there.
Yeah, potentially falling. It's a beautiful opener. Good beginning. Trailblazer scoping out. Seeing that the site's relatively clean. Something just the one. Chichu, it's a little bit labored, but no, eventually getting onto it. So 2 players left standing here. I mean, really no chance of a retake. Forsaken's only got the judge with Mindfreak falling. He's going to be opting to see if he can get a better gun. There it is.
It's worth saving here as well. You look at the PaperX economy, and they only need a single round to close this out. They've had 6 opportunities. It's going to go down to 5, but at some point they're going to get big ultimates up that will make this really difficult for EDG to end with a plant. I mean, anytime you have Orbital Strike, Rolling Thunder, Showstopper, like these ults are incredibly good on defense side of Fracture. One of the reasons why this composition gets played quite a lot. EDG are going to have their work cut out for them. They need more of the same.
Of the same. They've got themselves to 7. There has to be 5 more rounds in a row. A chance to get it to OT. It's a bit more difficult as well from this point on. The ultimates are going to start to get really built up, flowing a bit more. PRX are currently sitting on their Rolling Thunder. They've got the lockdown as well. Money is...
They're going to force?
It's tight. I mean, it's a weird buy, right?
It's, you know, it's not that bad of a buy. They've got 2 Bulldogs, 3 rifles. I think that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, so they are investing into it, puts even more importance onto it, even though, I mean, every round has to be must-win for EDG at this point.
Slow siege down onto Chishu, but not the fast crunch. Doesn't give him any timings to zip away on the rope. EDG playing that 4-1 and contacting through Dish. Very similar to what PRX did, the difference being this alarm bot they're about to run into.
It will catch him.
So they choose to use the utility a little further
Hello.
back.
Rolling Thunder out
Chishu.
towards it. Yeah, the Trailblazer actually connecting. It's only one player. I mean, it's just Jing close to the side. Nade flushing Chishu out, not able to take a clean fight. Orbital Strike blinded up. Something lucky to survive here. Smoke's going to be fading in just a moment. Will he hit the shot? Enough damage done. Certainly bringing down these targets, and this is it. The final blow to finisher, 13-7. Just a fundamental outclass from PRX. They came more than ready.
Extremely good ideas right from the beginning of this map. And also winning a ton of duels. We're seeing some shakiness from the Edward Gaming players that I haven't seen since before they won their first match on the international stage at Tokyo. Since then, there's been a wave of confidence firing them up.
Now you're going to have to see if they can bring that one back.
Bring the energy.